boys laughing through the airwaves.
Martin and Lewis.
We just laugh without a care.
Martin and Lewis.
We don't do politics, we don't do current affairs. We're two idiots talking rubbish. Leaving you losers.
Welcome to the Martin and Lewis show.
Yeah, it's the show.
Come on, folks, enjoy the flow.
Enjoy the flow.
Keep joking, we won't let you go.
Won't let you go.
Martin and Lewis, here we go.
Some folks say good times roll.
Martin and Lewis.
Turn the dial and lose control.
Let's take it slow.
On the airwaves, we bring the chin. No time for tears, so we're here to make you laugh. Here it's the fifth.
This is the Martin and Lewis show.
Yeah, it's the show.
Rock on, folks, enjoy the flow.
Enjoy the flow.
There's no Martin Lewis. What hello.
Hello and welcome to Martin and Lewis Experts On. My name's Martin
My name's Lewis.
and we're this week experts on
A mixture of things from what you said.
yeah, well, we've asked, as we usually do, for suggestions for topics this month, and we've had loads of messages really, or comments, things like crop rotation in the 14th century from Lee.
I responded to that
You
one.
did. Night owls or early birds from Kim. There's a few just the reduced size of chocolate bars from another Lee. What's it like to run a pub? That'd be too serious because what I do. Giraffes and how little they sleep. I like that one.
How little they don't change size though, do they?
Don't know. I've not been around one for long enough.
No.
Unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Shoehorns was another topic. But we had a few that were sort of mixed together because we've had Tim Staff has asked us to talk about which actor has been in the most superhero movies and playing different characters.
Indeed.
And then we've had there was another superhero one. I don't really understand this one, but Glenn Rush has said Superman powers, they're actually useless. And he's put flying only 2 foot from the ground, extreme scent, but can't open a jar.
So what,
but he can fly more than 2.
no, but he's saying that superpowers that aren't as good as they are actually in the films. So he can fly, but
Yeah.
not very high.
Oh, right. So the change in the superpowers. He
Yeah.
means. All right.
So limited to the power.
All right. So basically, messing with the.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to do that, do we?
So he's got a super strength, but he doesn't have the strength to open a jar lid.
Oh, okay. So, I see. So we basically want us to do a take on that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're not clever enough for that, are we? We can.
Not really, no.
But and there was another superhero-related one from. If I just got to go through because we've had a lot.
Invisible Man that you can still see his head or his fingers or something.
Yeah. Uninvisible Man.
Yeah.
And we've had one. A ranking of different Hulk movies, which one is the best and the worst, and maybe the same for Spider-Man and Batman.
Ooh.
So we've had a few which are like superhero movie related.
Yes.
So what we're going to do this episode, we're going to talk about superhero movies, but mainly compare like the classic ones we grew up with the modern ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The good ones and the CGI ones.
so we've already got Ivan's opinion on it. Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen a lot of the new runs, so
No. So should we start with do you remember the first superhero movies you saw growing up?
I remember seeing Superman 2 at the cinema.
Wow. When was that? Like 82?
That was 1981, 82.
No, yeah, 'cause the first one was 78 and it was a few
Yeah.
years after.
Yeah.
Um,
But they did record a lot of 2 at the same time as 1, though, didn't they?
they did. Hence, at the beginning of part 1, you see the 3 villains get exiled.
That's right,
They're
yeah.
not mentioned for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad they made the second one because if not, that would have been just as stupid. Because it's Lord Zod, played by Terence Stamp.
Ursa by Sarah
Douglas.
Yeah.
And the big fella, played
Yeah.
by the big fella.
Yeah, played by Brian Blessed's brother.
Yes. Bernie Blessed. I've met 2 of them out of the 3. Guess
Yeah.
which 2 I've met?
Sarah Douglas and the big fella.
Yes, at Comic Cons.
Ah.
Big fella was very friendly.
Yeah.
And I've heard actually he's a bit nuts in real life. And
Yeah.
a bit of a conspiracy theorist and stuff. Sarah Douglas was great. She's also in the comic book movie Return of Swamp Thing, which is a banger. Better than the first one. Don't care what anyone says, from
No.
1989. and met her. It was the end of the day, and a little bit of a queue. Got to her, and she looked at me and she sighed and went, "Oh, it's been a long day." And a little assistant she had next to her said, "You can't say that." And she looked at me up and down and went, "Look at him, he don't care." But she was funny.
Really say that?
Yeah, she's looking at as in I could say that to him. He's just he's an older bloke who just wants an autograph. And, but yeah, she was cool. She was very, very down to earth and really nice. So was the big fella as well, to be honest. That was at different Comic Cons, but he's shown his age now. Yeah. But she's been in a lot of stuff over the years. But that Superman 2, I was going to say, the Superman franchise is the first of these comic book superhero films I remember really liking as a kid. Yeah. The first two I watched regularly. And recently, Superman 3 was shown at King Street Cinema in Ipswich.
And no doubt you were there.
Of course I was. There was a documentary about Christopher Reeve first. I nearly said Keanu Reeves there. So there was a...
Has Keanu Reeves been in a superhero film?
He was in that 47 Ronin, which was based on a comic.
Yeah.
I know he famously turned down being in the Marvel universe and done SpongeBob SquarePants instead. Yeah. Which is quite cool. I don't know. Has he done... Because he's done a lot of that sort of thing, like obviously The Matrix, but that wasn't...
Yeah, he's done mostly kind of futuristic...
Yeah, Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah, in the Mnemonic.
Yeah, I don't know if he has done a superhero film. Probably not.
Anyway, you were talking about Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, so they showed this documentary about Christopher Reeve's life, and then Superman 3. But the Superman franchise was the first ones I remember really liking. And really, that would be the first superhero franchise. Yeah. I mean, prior to that, you had TV stuff. You had like the Batman. You had the serials in like the 30s and 40s. You had Batman and Superman, didn't you? Yeah. Black and white. Sort of their costumes look like pajamas. Did you used to watch these on repeats on telly when you were a kid?
I don't think I ever have. I don't like black and white things, except for the Marx Brothers.
There you go. You bought a box set of that today.
I have, yeah.
They should have done a superhero film. That'd been great.
They should have done.
So there's that. And then in the 50s, there was the George Reeve Superman series. Yeah.
I can never remember which is Reeve and which is Reeves.
Christopher Reeves, George Reeve.
Right.
And that was a cool series and really successful. Yeah. Darker side of that, though, he killed himself afterwards, didn't he?
He did, yeah. And that's what the film Hollywoodland is about. With
Ben Affleck.
Bennifer Affleck.
And that's one of the suggestions was actors who played the most superheroes.
Yeah, so we'll get to that. Sure.
Yeah, well, should we just mention Ben Affleck now?
Okay, yeah.
Because he did have the costume on, so we say he was Superman in that. Yeah. And he was Daredevil.
He's been Superman in the Superman and Batman thing.
The Superman and Batman thing, what's that? What?
Dawn of Justice, was it, with Wonder Woman?
That was Henry Cavill.
Was it?
Yeah, he was in Man of Steel.
Why did I think that was...
But Affleck's been Daredevil and Superman, but I'm sure he's done... Oh, sorry, Affleck was Batman in that, wasn't he? Sorry,
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so he's been Batman, Superman and Daredevil.
Yeah.
So that's not bad, that's free. Yeah. But we'll keep coming back to that. Sure.
Okay.
So, speaking of Batman, then in the 60s, there was the Adam West Batman TV series with Burt Ward, which you must have watched growing up.
I have, yeah. I've got the Blu-ray box set at home.
Have you got the fancy one with the car and it plays the theme, or just a normal one?
No, just the regular one.
Guess which one I've got?
You've got the swanky posh one, haven't you?
Yeah, and it plays now. If you press the button, it plays the theme in slow motion because the
batteries are running out.
Yeah, it's buggered. But I remember watching that like morning TV growing up, the repeats. Yeah, that was cool. And you had loads of the villains, like Cesar Romero was the Joker. And, Egghead was Vincent Price and stuff. Do you remember all them?
I remember him being on there. Yeah.
The Bookworm, played by Roddy McDowall.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 60s was, and that was what I watched as a kid. Around the same time as I was watching the Superman series, and then the first that I can think of, it's not really a superhero, but comic book movie. A few years later, 68, Barbarella.
Barbarella, yeah. Was that a comic?
Yeah, it was a French comic, Barbarella. So I think that was the first movie, at least big budget movie, from a comic book. And then it was a good 10 years before Superman. Yeah. And the Superman franchise, 9 years. I can remember very clearly.
Well, wasn't there some Spider-Man movies before that?
No. The first proper Spider-Man movie was in the Sam Raimi one in the 90s. There was a TV series in the 70s.
TV movie, perhaps?
Yeah, and there was, I think, the pilot episode was released in this country as a film.
Right. That's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
and then they've put episodes together on video and sold them as films,
Right.
which they done in the 90s with the Flash TV series as well.
Yeah.
With Mark Hamill as the Trickster,
Yeah.
which is basically the Joker but without the makeup.
Yeah.
And then obviously Mark Hamill, another one, superheroes. He's played the Trickster.
Yeah.
Then he voiced the Joker. So that's
Yeah.
2. He
was what he was in
Cockknocker in
Jam Silent Bob.
Bob. I don't know if that's a real.
I would class it as one.
Yeah, it's a spoof one, so it's technically yeah. So our sort of era would be the Superman franchise, and then we mentioned the Batman TV series, but also in the 70s and 80s you had the Wonder Woman series with Linda Carter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you did indeed.
Yeah. And then the Incredible Hulk series.
The Hulk, yeah.
With Billy.
It wasn't Billy. It was the other fella.
Well, Lou Ferrigno was the Hulk.
Yeah.
The guy who played, I thought it was Billy someone, because
Bill Bixby.
Bill Bixby, or Billy Bixby as I call him.
Yeah. Or Billy Bix.
Bill Bixby, yes. Who played David Banner. In the comics, it was Bruce Banner. And do you know why they changed the name from Bruce to David in the 70s?
I don't know.
Because apparently the name Bruce was too gay.
Right.
That's the reason the production people gave.
And then for one of the films, they made his father the character name that they'd changed it from, or something.
Yeah, they messed about with it.
Yeah.
But also, I don't get that reason for changing the name. Have they heard of Bruce Lee? I was like, if he heard this, he'd
Bruce Forsyth.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't gay though, was he?
No. Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bruce, I don't know, Almighty.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was. But I grew up watching the Hulk and Wonder Woman. 2 series I really enjoyed. The Hulk was very. It was much like Highway to Heaven or The Littlest Hobo.
Yeah.
But as in each week they go to a different town.
Yeah.
Solve a different.
It'd always be solving somebody's problems.
Yeah, and then moving on. Probably impregnating someone.
Yeah.
That's why there was a lot of stray dogs around. Not because of him, because of the Littlest Hobo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It should have been called The Littlest Tramp, I tell you. So there's that sort of fit in. Even Quantum Leap was a bit like that a few years later.
Well, you'd know more about that than I would.
Yeah, because it's episodic, and I miss episodic TV.
Yeah.
And I think this might be why I like the more modern movies, the sci-fi ones, but it's got to the stage now with Marvel. There's like probably one released every 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's been doing it for about 20 years. So I feel for people coming in, are they going to understand what's going on if they haven't seen the other?
So much you got to watch them in a certain order as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise you miss things. And
But like back in the day, you could watch pretty much any of the Superman movies, and later on in the 80s and early 90s, the 4 Batman movies, and you wouldn't have to have seen the others.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's the same with TV shows. You could just watch an episode of The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And follow it. Recently, actually, it's not a superhero, but it's the same sort of thing. I've gone back to the 90s Highlander TV series.
I saw that, yeah.
And that's the same. You can just put an episode and it's like a mini film.
Yeah.
And it's a lot better than I thought it'd be. I'm really enjoying it.
Okay.
Do you used to watch that?
I never watched it, no.
Oh, okay.
I liked the first film. Wasn't so keen on the second.
The second one was shockingly bad.
Yeah.
And
that's as far as I got.
Yeah, with they were all aliens instead of. I doubt it wasn't big, but they forgot about that in part 3. So you might like part 3.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, they're just like, that's rubbish. We'll
forget about that.
Yeah. So, have you watched any of the more recent superhero movies then?
I think the most recent superhero thing that I've seen was probably one of the X-Men.
Right.
Was it not Dark Phoenix? The one before that.
The Apocalypse. So that's probably
about 5 or 6 years old at least.
More than that, yeah. So yeah. So have you seen any of the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the DC ones?
I've got a lot of them, but haven't
seen it.
Yeah,
Deadpool.
Deadpool was good. Yeah.
There you
I've
go.
seen
That's
the first one.
Yes, that's probably around the same time as that.
Possibly seen the second. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Haven't seen the third.
But you were saying how you find them too CGI.
Yeah. There's not so much of that in Deadpool though.
There's a bit, but it's more. It's done. It seems to have better production value. The 3 Wolverine films look better than a lot of the other ones.
Yeah.
And that,
Deadpool's got a good sense of humour as well, so that kind of
it's-
makes up for the CGI. That it does
Yeah,
have.
but one thing I was going to mention is I'll go and see all these. I'll go and see a lot of films, and in recent years I've still enjoyed them, but I think they've dipped a bit. And for one reason is the CGI hasn't appeared as good, or maybe they're trying to do too much of it.
Yeah,
So I think CGI should be done delicately, and like in Titanic, you wouldn't even notice it was CGI because it looks real, and then they touch things up with it. When the most recent Ant-Man, two things annoyed me. Firstly, Bill Murray's in the trailer and he's in bugger all of the film. It's in for about 2 minutes,
Right.
which is annoying. But I think stuff is going on in his personal life then, so they probably withdrew. Anyway, and the CGI was terrible.
Which one is that? Is there a third one?
Yeah,
now?
Quadromania or something like that was
Right.
called. And it was just let down by. It just looked bad.
Right.
But the most recent one, Thunderbolts, which I've actually been to see twice, I didn't. It's
Is
like
that the team that
yeah,
aren't superheroes?
yeah. It seems that aren't superheroes, the side characters are all sort of brought together.
Right.
And I like that because it's more interesting when it's not people with all the powers, I find.
Yeah.
And the comedy works and the character building works because they're fighting for more to prove.
Yeah.
And the comedy because they're not very good at it. I like. And the CGI looked great. It's like they'd learnt from it and basically made the film with more care.
Yeah.
So Thunderbolts I thought was really good. Before that was they'd done the Captain America one with Han Solo
the
as
new guy.
Red Hulk.
Solo?
Harrison
What,
Ford's in it as the
Oh, right, okay.
he's good. But that wasn't a bad film, but it was just another one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Harrison Ford, who is in the trailer and in a lot of the film, they took note.
Right. Yeah.
It's worth watching. I think you'd enjoy that one. You're
Yeah.
a Harrison Ford fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I think that's the only superhero film he's been in.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of sci-fi.
He hasn't ever been a boss like a
Villain.
CIA agent. Or
No, not to my knowledge. I think this was the.
No.
So they brought him in, and he's done well in recent years, coming back for Star Wars, Blade Runner, and Indiana Jones. He's done them all again, hasn't he? They didn't do a sequel to Regarding Henry, which would have been.
No, it would have been. I always thought it was a good film.
Yeah, I liked it, but
Yeah.
Regarding Henry Goes on Holiday.
Yeah.
That was a good drama actually, but so for me, I do prefer the older ones, but I do enjoy the new ones, and I am very much, and this is why we could have done this one in a month or two time, because I'm quite excited about the new Superman movie.
Yeah.
I don't know who the actor is. Well, I've seen him in the film Pearl, but the guy who's playing Superman's a relatively unknown. Have you seen any trailers or anything for it?
I don't know anything about it.
Okay, so
This is the first I've heard of it.
really okay. You don't get out much, do you?
No,
Okay.
I don't go to the cinema.
Okay, yeah. So the trailer shows an injured Superman being saved by Crypto the Superdog.
Right.
Yes, they've done a live action CGI-ish Superdog, and it looks amazing.
Is it better than the Scooby Doo?
That was all right, though, wasn't it?
It was, but you could tell it was animated, though, couldn't you?
Yeah, 'cause it was animated.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the Scooby Doo live action film?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, this looks more like a dog. Like a real dog. It looks good.
Right.
But then obviously when it's flying and that, you're like, oh, well, that could be CGI.
Yeah.
There's an extended trailer where there's an injured Superman, and when in the main one, and he gets dragged off by Crypto. But in the extended trailer, Crypto's so excited to see him, he jumps all over him, licking him, hurting him more, which is quite funny. But it's directed by James Gunn, who done the Guardians of the Galaxy films, which I think are the best Marvel.
Is he Saw as well?
No, that's James Wan.
Close.
Yeah. James Gunn done. James Gunn done. I can't talk. The most recent Suicide Squad,
Right.
which wasn't bad. The Guardians films, which I think are the best Marvel films, and he came out of B movies. He done. There was a film. He's done a superhero spoof called Super with
Right.
Woody Harrelson. And then there was what was it called? He's done like a proper horror. So it's escaped me. But he came from Troma, so he wrote Tromeo and Juliet,
Right.
which is a disgusting film.
Yeah.
Do you know Troma films?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Toxic Avenger and Class of Nukem High.
Yeah. Even though I consider myself one of the wokes, those films are really offensive, and I love them.
Yeah.
Check them out if you don't want to be. They're not PG films, are they?
No.
Still It's okay.
You just went over. You mentioned Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
He was also in a film called Defender,
Yes.
in which he was a superhero
Oh, I might be getting confused then.
with Kat Dennings,
Yeah, that was.
and she's in the Thors.
Yeah, and she was in a sitcom as well.
Yeah, Two Broke Girls.
Yeah, I think I've got those two films confused, and Woody Harrelson wasn't in the one I was talking about.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to cheat and do a little bit of the Googling.
In the meantime, we'll sing a song, everyone.
Right, it's when you're Googling normally, it's really quick, isn't it? When you're
Yeah.
looking something up. Yes, the one I'm thinking of is called Super. Now, the horror film he done was called Sliver.
Ah, right, yeah.
Yeah, and Super wasn't Woody Harrelson.
It was the guy from The Office, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was Rainn Wilson.
Yeah.
And Liv Tyler and Kevin Bacon and Linda Cardellini,
Cardellini.
who plays pet store employee, so obviously a big role. I have to rewatch that one.
And Linda Cardellini's in Scooby-Doo.
She is, yeah, we connected it.
Yeah.
Do you know what she's doing next? A TV series. It's going to be brilliant.
Is it something I should like?
Nah, more me, more what I'd like. You might. It's
Wrestling?
no. It's a prequel series to Friday the 13th
Right.
about the mum who's the original killer. She's playing the mum when she's younger.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be good.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So
Pamela Voorhees.
that's the one. See,
Yeah,
you've seen the films.
I have.
So if only the listeners would pick horror films, then it'd be easier for me, listeners. Pick horror films. So what are we talking about? Oh yeah,
Woody
the
Harrelson.
Superman film.
Yeah.
So there's a new big budget James Gunn Superman movie. They're redoing the DC universe. There was the movies like Aquaman, starring him with a beard.
Momoa.
Yeah, Jason Momoa.
And the unpopular woman, Amber Heard.
Amber Heard. And Dolph Lundgren's in there. That's
Yeah.
cool. So you had that, and you had the Man of Steel and the Ben Affleck Batmans. And the Flash, which I thought was good, but everyone hates because the actor who plays the Flash is a bit of a wrong 'un, but I still like the film. So they've sort of ended that universe, and they're starting again with this new Superman. So you got an unknown-ish guy as Superman. The lady who plays the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Rachel someone,
Marvelous Mrs.
it's a TV, it's a Amazon Prime. It's about a comedian, fictional comedian in the 50s. It's quite good, and the star of that is playing Lois Lane. And going by the trailer and the pictures, I think she's perfect for it. She's got the attitude of Lois
Right, okay.
Lane.
The only Rachel I can think of is Rachel Weisz.
No, it's Bronan or something. I'm not going to keep googling. This is supposed to be info.
Yeah.
But she was in a Walter Hill Western a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm pleased they've cast her because she's good. And the trailer looks crazy. It's got like Hawkman in it and stuff. It's not going to be an origin story. It's like, right, Superman's here.
Hawkman.
Yeah, you remember Hawkman?
Gordon's alive!
Not that one, unfortunately. He's got a cameo. When the cinema the other day, and we come back from the toilet, and as I was walking back, there was a trailer for an energy drink, and I could just hear the booming voice of Brian Blessed.
Right.
I was like, isn't it great to just walk in the cinema and hear that voice? It's like, yeah, the blessed man.
He's going to go on forever, isn't he?
Yeah, actually saying that, and we know we're doing superheroes, but if we make it broader in comic books, 1980, Flash Gordon was based on a comic.
It was, yeah.
So was the Buck Rogers, which was around the same time TV series.
78?
Yeah.
Because it would have been released after Star Wars.
Yeah, and they done 2 seasons, but in about 3 years.
Yeah.
Of that. And the pilot episode did get a cinema release in this country.
It did.
If you want to know more about that pilot episode, go on YouTube and look up ACM's Vault of Cult. There's a whole episode of it.
Yeah.
Which is my highest listened to episode.
And it might get a few more listens.
Let's hope so.
Yes.
No, okay, I do it for the joy of it. So I'm excited about this because I think there's been overkill with superhero movies in recent years, and I'm sure you'd agree, not being as big a fan of them.
Yeah, there's just too many.
Yeah, and that's my issue with the Marvel ones. When I go and see them cinema, and I do enjoy them as I'm watching them, most of them.
Yeah.
The Eternals I thought was pants, but then I go away and I just forget about it. And then I see all there's TV series of it, and there are certain things in the films I don't know what's going on because they're still very watchable, but you have to watch 10 episodes of different series to know exactly. And it's this whole big story going on, which I don't care about. I want a 2-hour different story.
Yeah.
And in the recent movies, one what got criticised was the Marvels, But I enjoyed that one because you didn't have to have seen much of anything else.
Is it called The Marvels?
Yeah, it's basically the sequel to Captain Marvel,
Right.
and it's her and her friends are teamed up. And
Wasn't there a film of that as well?
There's a film, yeah.
I thought you said it was TV.
Oh no. So the film The Marvels is the second Captain Marvel film,
Right.
and you don't need to have seen anything else. But there is a lead up. There's a Miss Marvel TV series.
Right. Okay.
But it don't really matter because it just doesn't have a character. But
Yeah.
some of them I've watched in recent years. I'm like, what's happened?
This is the kind of confusion that
There's too much.
results from
Yeah.
having too much of it.
And what I'm hoping with the DC ones is they're just making standalone films.
Yeah.
That maybe some of the characters will cross over,
Yeah.
but it don't really matter.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, that'd be great. That'd be.
It would. Everybody needs to do some shopping, don't they? It would be good to see the Hulk in going to the shop.
Yeah. Well, you say that. The latest. I'm going to do a spoiler. Spoiler alert. In the end credits of Thunderbolts,
Right.
it ends with one of them going shopping, and there's a mum with the trolley picking out breakfast cereal, and he picks the one with him on it and hands it to her like, this will be good. So you do see them just shopping.
Okay.
Which is weird. It's like, you didn't know that. You wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah.
And that's quite funny.
Yeah.
So, right, I'm going to quiz you.
Go ahead.
If you can, your 3 favourite superhero movies, and then pick at least one that you think is really underrated that people should watch. Doesn't have to be the same for him.
Gonna have to be one of the Supermen, I think.
Yeah? So, well, it's your favourite.
Yeah. Probably 2, I would say.
Yeah. That's
No particular reason. I just remember
just
seeing that one.
like it.
Remember that was the first one I saw, I think.
Yeah.
Another one would be probably the X-Men. I don't know which one though. I'll just say the X-Men.
Yeah, in general.
Because they're all much the same to me.
Yeah.
And the Hulk. Even though when I was a kid, I was petrified of the Hulk.
Yeah, we all were. Do you mean the TV series?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're picking that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was scary as kids, wasn't it?
Yeah. I used to hide behind the sofa.
Yeah.
For that and the Daleks whenever they were on TV.
That's the famous one, isn't it? Everyone used to. But the incredible, what I liked about the original series was it was like Banner. Well, I suppose it's a bit like that now, but they've sort of tamed him down a bit. Banner obviously couldn't control him, and he was just unleashed.
Yeah.
And usually he'd just accidentally help, or he'd be beating hell out of everyone in the path. And then there'd be like a wounded puppy, and he'd pick it up and go, "Ow," and then put it down, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So that's 3 good choices, and an underrated one.
An underrated one. Oh. I can't think of one at the minute. I'll come back to that.
Okay,
shortly.
I'll pick 3, shall I?
Yeah.
As well. I was going to do Superman 2 because I generally think it's the prototype for all of the modern superhero films and possibly the greatest superhero movie ever made.
Okay.
But you picked that. So I'm going to go for Batman Returns.
Yeah.
It's a banger. The Batman character is already established. It's one of the first ones to have more than, well, at least the first Batman film to have more than one villain. Excellent Danny DeVito and superb Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer, yeah.
Yeah, probably the best Catwoman.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Michael Keaton, my favourite serious Batman. Obviously, Adam West is the best one.
Yeah.
But the favourite serious. Good plot. It looks great. It's dark. Christopher Walken's in it as well. Danny Elfman's score, brilliant.
And I've thought of one for my underrated
Go ahead.
ones. I don't think this is as bad as people think. And from that, you're going to probably guess what it is.
Catwoman.
No?
Supergirl.
No?
Not as bad as people think. I don't know.
Batman and Robin.
I watched it recently, and
It's not terrible, is it?
I think, looking back, it was made to be funny.
Yeah.
I think the stuff people think's bad in it is deliberate camping up.
Yeah.
It's trying to be the 60s series, which I don't think quite works. But I totally agree it's not as bad as what people say.
Yeah.
It overstays its welcome. It's fun for about an hour, and then it gets a bit tedious.
Yeah.
But I saw it. They Cineworld showed it here recently. They've done like a Batman season. And I went, mate, and we were the only ones laughing. And I'm like, it's meant to be funny.
Yeah.
A freeze is coming. They even spoof Clockwork Orange in that. It's like a kid's film. It's not that bad. No, that's a good one. My other pick, I'm going to do 2 more of my favourites. So we're doing well for time there. Guardians of the Galaxy in general.
Okay.
I think it was characters most people didn't know. It was well made, funny. Definitely stands out in the more recent ones as being good.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of them?
I've seen clips, but nothing
not
more than
nothing,
that.
no.
They're sitting on my shelf waiting
They're-
to be watched.
They're ones that people who aren't fans of Marvel, I'd still recommend them to.
Right,
And it's the closest thing we've had to a Star Wars since Star Wars,
right.
I'd say. So if you get a chance, give them a go.
The problem with the Guardians of the Galaxy is I don't like Chris Pratt,
Yeah,
and he's in it quite a lot.
He
I
is.
assume.
but they mock him a lot.
Right.
So, and in the third one's got a dog that talks and it's Russian. It's brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and you'd like a lot of the soundtrack as well. It's a lot of sort of 70s, 80s rock in it. So.
I didn't realise there was a third film of
The
it.
third one, it as trilogies go, is really good.
Yeah.
It's so the first one's brilliant, second one's good, third one's brilliant.
Which is the one that's got Howard Duck and
He cameos in all of them.
Right. Okay.
Howard's Duck.
I was thinking of Donald Duck.
Yeah. So there's those two, and I'm going to pick a third, and trying to think of something more obscure, but it's still great.
You've got Shedlow. Well.
Yeah, all me in the different part of the flat is all me superhero stuff.
Right. But you've got what are they? The bouncy head, bobblehead things.
Yeah, but they're
Funko
not,
Pops.
Yeah, but they're not superhero ones, are they?
A lot of them are, aren't they?
No.
I haven't got my
I've
glasses
got like
on.
the Mad Max, Saturday Night Live ones, horror. Another. I'm going to do the underrated anyway.
Okay.
I think you mentioned it before. Howard the Duck. Don't care. I think is a banger.
Yeah.
Funny. The effects look great. Tim Robbins' best film. Don't care. Awesome soundtrack. It's so 80s.
Leah Thompson copping off with a duck.
Doesn't happen. It's people don't get that scene. That watch it and they're just mucking about. The only drawback is the villain is played by someone who's done a very wrong,
Yeah.
Jeffrey Jones.
That man.
Yeah, but I think it's great. I saw that on the big screen recently. Great. And also, my other pick for underrated, don't care, Supergirl. You got
Yeah.
Peter Cook's great in it. Helen Slater's perfect for the role.
Yeah.
You got Faye Dunaway is the villain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Faye Dunaway, and
Selena.
you got Mia Farrow's in it as well.
Yeah.
And who's the other one? Peter O'Toole. Peter
Yes.
O'Toole is, and this is where DC tried to do what Marvel later done, as in expand.
Yeah.
And I think another one I've done a podcast on recently with someone who is in their 50s now, who will admit he didn't go and see it when it came out because different times and people didn't really want to go and see a female-led superhero movie.
Yeah.
Worked on TV for Wonder Woman, but I think there's more families sitting around together watching it, whereas the audience for these films were sort of teenage boys, and maybe they wanted to go and see Supergirl, but they were a bit, let's be girls.
Yeah.
And I think, look, in retrospect, that film was very ahead of its time.
Yeah. You have to correct me on the name if I get it wrong, but Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, because
was meant to be in that, but apparently quite close to the filming he pulled out and said he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, it was Christopher Reeve. I was just messing about. It was either he didn't want to do it or he was scheduled for something else.
Yeah.
But there was a scene he was supposed to be in it. But they've got the chap from Back to the Future who was Jimmy Olsen's in it.
Yeah.
It's got a really good cast. Speaking about it, it's a shame he didn't do the cameo because I think that would have drawn people in.
Isn't it really coincidental that the girl Supergirl ends up in the school the
With
room
Lois Lane's
with
sister.
with her sister? Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost a small world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Small world. And the sort of male love interest in that, the gardener, the himbo,
Yeah.
is in Die Hard.
Yeah, I was about to say that,
Yeah.
but I've forgotten his name.
Yeah, he's got
yeah.
a beard in Die Hard and
Yeah.
does cocaine, doesn't he? Yes, and those were 4 years apart, but he seems a lot older in Die Hard. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it actually shows in Die Hard that he is a good actor because he hasn't got much to do in
Yeah.
Supergirl. But that's one I really recommend, and I'm going to try to pick another more modern one. Probably going to go Suicide Squad, the second one, because the first one just a flashy special effects CGI jobby.
Yeah.
With Will Smith, and they done that's Suicide Squad. Then they done the Suicide Squad, which is James Gunn, more fun, lot more stuff going on.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, so I'm gonna pick that.
So I can't keep up with the Suicide Squad. There was the version that was released to the cinema. Then they re-edited it with is it Zack Snyder?
Oh no, that's the Justice League one.
Right. Okay. So But they did do an edit on Suicide Squad.
Oh, there
didn't
was
they?
a slightly longer version when it
Yeah.
came out, but nothing like the Justice League one. Now, what happened with this is Justice League was the coming together of the DC characters after a few films like the Avengers.
Yeah.
And Zack Snyder had done Man of Steel
Yeah.
and Batman vs Superman, then this. But his daughter, or so I'm not going to know the details, but there was some family issues. I think someone died,
Right.
and he had to come away from filming. So Joss Whedon, who done the Avengers, came in to finish it and basically really marvelled it up, as in
Right.
camped it up, made it more family friendly.
Yeah.
And a 2-hour film was released that bombed and didn't do very well. But also around that time there was controversy with Joss Whedon because of like harassment claims.
Right.
So that might put people off. And they'd got all this stuff filmed, because I think it was meant to be 2 films. And people knew that, and there was a sort of campaign to get that all released.
Yeah.
And they called it the Snyder Cut. And then they released a 4-hour epic, which was actually, if you've got the patience, really good.
Okay.
And showed that it was a darker, that's like 15 or hour in America, whereas the other one was 12.
Yeah.
And it's got, it's just really expanded, but it takes it from being like the Avengers to more like being like the Watchmen.
Yeah.
But people have criticised the length, but it is in 6 chapters, so really you can watch it in.
It's like a season of TV.
Yeah, so you can watch it. I thought that's how I'd do it, but I really enjoyed it and just watched it all the way through.
Okay.
That's an underrated one as well.
Yeah.
And but obviously that didn't do. It just came out on streaming and DVD, so
Yeah.
it didn't. And I don't think it would have done well in theatres because it was so long.
Yeah. Plus, they don't like to have long films at the cinema, do they?
No, they like to have them about 3 hours max.
Yeah.
What was the one? There was something fairly recently where there was an interval. Oh, it was the Brutalist, which is
Right.
like 3 hours 20, and they put an actual break in it.
Yeah.
A lot of Bollywood films have got breaks in it, and I think firstly they should do breaks because my bladder,
Yeah.
and secondly the cinemas should make more money because people go and buy more snacks and stuff.
Yeah.
If I've had one beer in the space of an hour and a half before break, I'm going to definitely want another one.
Yeah.
Same with popcorn, really. I'm like Labrador. Give me more food.
They should put toilets into the seats.
Yes. Imagine the smell of that would be splendid.
And air conditioning.
Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? It'd be like,
And you have your own little cubicle.
there'd be that, like the famous scenes, like the bit at the end of Lost in Translation where it goes quiet and he whispers whatever to her. If there's toilets there, he leans over Bill Murray into Scarlett Johansson's ear and goes, and then they shouldn't do that. There should be breaks.
They should. Do you remember? I don't know if you ever saw them, but in old comics, whenever there was a picture of a Turkish bath, it would have like a seat with a enclosure around you,
Yeah.
so that only your head is poking out at the top.
Yes.
They should have those in the cinema
Yeah.
as toilets.
Yeah. There's 4DX.
And
With IMAX.
with your arms over the top, so you can still eat your drink,
Yeah.
eat your
So-
food, and you drink your drinks.
Should do it. That's what I think. There's 4DX, IMAX, and like the big. What could they call this? Don't know. Yes,
Bog vision.
Bog Vision. Yes, and it gives the with the horror film franchise, the Pooniverse, a whole new meaning, doesn't it? Yeah. So we've really gone off on one on it.
Yeah,
So
but that's our job, though, isn't it?
yeah. So I'm guessing that sort of since the X-Men films, you've sort of not really bothered too much with these films. Is it just because it's overkill?
Yeah. Once they've stopped, maybe I'll actually start watching them.
Yeah, I get that. It's to be honest, it's only because I've got a cinema pass.
Yeah.
And I do think these films are best enjoyed in the cinema.
Plus, you've kept up with them.
I haven't kept up with TV series.
Okay.
And this is it's not superhero, but I still, and I don't care. I nearly said a big bad swear there, but I don't care because I still really like Star Wars. I like the new films, but I can't be bothered with all the TV series.
Yeah.
And with the TV series, whenever I do bother to watch them, I really like them.
Yeah.
But it's just too much. But with Star Wars, all these offshoot series don't all tie in. They're their own little.
Yeah.
So I like that. So eventually they will do more Star Wars films, and hopefully you wouldn't have had to watch all these TV series.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Star Wars, even though it probably isn't as successful now as Marvel, in 20 years' time will probably be going stronger than what Marvel is.
Well, I think with Marvel, it's probably going to be more successful because there's so much of it, and if you don't like one character, then you probably like another,
but
you still watch those.
I was chatting with someone. It was Tim who one of the people who suggested this sort of come together, and he was like, people just seem to like to hate on Marvel lately, and I think it's because of the overkill.
Yeah.
The backlash has started.
Yeah.
But with Thunderbolts just come out, people are liking it. So the last few so much they haven't. I think the big test for them is, and DC next month, because there's Fantastic Four coming out, which looks cool because they've actually set it in the 60s,
right?
How it should be, and they've failed with Fantastic Four 3 times before. Even though I quite like the one with Jessica Alba and that in, I thought they were right. But the one after that, the reboot was terrible, and then there was a James Corman one in the 90s, what never even got a proper release. So with this, it's a big test. There's some big actors in it. It looks really good, but that comes out around the same time. I think they're only like a week or two apart of Superman.
Okay.
So
is that the new one?
The new one, yeah.
Right.
So either this could be a big everyone likes superhero movies again, or could end it all.
Yeah.
You know, there's been some big flops recently, like Snow White earlier on in the year, and that looks like that's putting a stop to the Disney live reboots. But then there's Lilo and Stitch coming out, so we don't know. So there's been a lot of big bombs, and I think they've spent a lot of money on these, and it's make or break.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all serious about a trivial matter. Should we do Celebrity Swears?
Let's do Celebrity Swears.
If you're not a regular listener, each month one of us, usually me, picks a time a celebrity is sworn, and the other one, usually Ivan, has to guess which celebrity it is. Now I'm going to try to do this. Actually, this time, sorry if you're listening, Mum or Dad, I'm going to say the swears because they're not overly strong ones. If it was in, I'll still put the explicit on the episode that I always do in case we accidentally, say poo poo or wang. So I'm going to say the actual word. So if you're of a delicate position, no, I do apologise. So this was on the Chris Evans radio show.
Okay.
In 1998, a British actor was being interviewed about whatever film that person was releasing, and that person, I'll say he because it's easier.
I was going to say actor these days can be male or female.
Exactly. So be to him. While doing an impression of Anthony Hopkins, says the word bollocks, and then Chris Evans he points out, so you can't say that, and then he goes, oh shit, I shouldn't have done. So he done a double swear and then had to apologise. Specifically, he apologised to mothers taking the kids on the way to school because it was just before 8:30 in the morning.
Right, okay.
An actor, British.
British. If he's doing impressions, I would say probably maybe not Steve Coogan.
No. Nearly as awesome as Steve Coogan, I'll give you that. British actor, has made it big in America but did start in British films.
Ray Winston?
No. Another clue. He broke in he was acting before, but in the early to mid 90s, a massive British hit, and the opening scenes he said the F word a lot.
Oh god. What time was that?
I think he came out in 94.
Oh, Hugh Grant.
Yeah! Hugh Grant, Paddington's foe himself.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant. You a Hugh Grant fan?
Not particularly, is it alright?
What? He's brilliant. Has he been in a superhero film? He must have been.
He's probably, like I said before with Harrison Ford, he's probably been
villain
a CIA boss or something.
Yeah. But I like Hugh Grant. I never used to, but I think he's kind of the man now.
Yeah.
I think he's sort of doing really well for himself. He's done some horror. He's so good as a villain in Paddington, honestly. Have you seen Paddington?
I haven't, no.
What?
Is he a superhero?
Well, kind of. Hugh Grant has been in a superhero movie. Of course he has. Oh no, he hasn't. No, I'm just being thick. He's been in. I'm getting confused with Dungeons and Dragons. That's what I'm thinking of because it's not really a superhero. There's been comic books and stuff. He's good in that. Yeah. I recommend the Dungeons and Dragons film. I do. There are things I do dislike. I just don't really talk about them.
Yeah.
Like war.
Coldplay.
I don't really talk about that much. Don't get me started. My parents would call me
Mrs. Brown's Boys.
There's a song, I don't know if I mentioned this on here before, a song by Foster and Allen called Mrs. Brown's Boys. And our jukebox at work, there's an app, so you can put songs on from your phone.
Right.
And customers, even when they're travelling all over the world, will put this song on to annoy me. So this is why I don't like talking about what I don't like.
Is that the actual theme to the show?
No, but they're playing so much, I've started to quite like the song. It's
Right.
just like a lively, for a Foster and Allen, a lively Irish
Yeah.
song. Oh God, it's terrible.
I
Yeah.
don't even know if the show has got a TV theme.
No, it's a song about it. It must have been used in it. I don't know if it's
Right.
Oh, it's rubbish. That was a good celebrity swears.
Yeah,
I
I
like
like
celebrity swears. That's good. Apologise for any foul language used.
Yes.
So we've sort of compared the superhero. Oh, we were going to rank them.
Yeah.
That's it, because someone asked us to rank. Oh, should we?
Well, should we do the
It's difficult to do together. We'll end on the Hulk one, so that's easier because there's
Yeah.
a few of them. The Superman films. Shall I do mine and see if you agree?
Yeah.
Right, I think 2's the best.
Yeah.
Then 1, then 3, then Man of Steel, then Batman vs Superman, then Superman 4, then Superman Returns.
There's another one as well. Wasn't there? Are you counting?
Dawn of Justice is Batman vs Superman. So.
And same with Justice.
Oh,
League.
that's too many. Okay, yeah, that's there's
Okay.
he's in it.
As you were going through them, I pretty much agreed with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quickly do the Batmans.
Yeah.
Batman Returns, followed by Batman 1988, followed by The Dark Knight, followed by I can't be bothered. That's why I'll go with them.
Those are your top three.
There's top three.
They're the main ones.
It's quite.
And which is the worst?
I like the Batman films. See, I forgot the '66 one, which in many ways is the best.
Yeah.
The worst one for me would be Dark Knight Rises, the
Right,
third
okay.
of the. It's weird because I love the Dark Knight. Is it called Dark Knight Rises? The one after?
Yeah, the one
with
after.
Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but then you could, even though we bigged up, you could say Batman and Robin's the worst.
Yeah.
Catwoman's part of that franchise. That's not good, but there's bits of it where it's watchable.
Yeah.
So that's those two. Spider-Man's.
I lose
I'm
track
going
of
to rank.
Spider-Man.
I'm going to rank the franchises because you've got the Sam Raimi ones. That'd be
Yeah.
my favourite. Then the newer ones with Tom Holland, and then the Amazing Spider-Man ones with James Andrew Garfield, who, even though I think they're the weaker films, I think he's really good as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I really like him. So all of them I think are good.
I haven't seen any of the latest ones.
Okay. And Hulk films.
Yeah.
We won't count like the Avengers ones or the one with Red Hulk.
I think for the Hulk films, we should start from the worst up to the
yeah.
best.
So the worst, I'd say. So we'll go. So randomly, I think it's 7. 7th would be for me Return of the Incredible Hulk, the TV
Yeah.
movie with Lou Ferrigno and Bill Baxby. Then, which I believe had 4 in it, or Daredevil in an early incarnation.
Okay.
And then, so that's 7. 6, Trial of the Incredible Hulk, which either had 4 or I remember that one not being as good.
Yeah.
Oh no, we've got to start with 8 because there's Death of the. So there's those 3 are the worst.
Yeah. Okay.
Death, Trial, Return, and then at number 5, I'm going to go with the Incredible Hulk, the one with Ed Norton.
Yeah.
Number 4, the one just called Hulk, which is exactly as good as the Incredible
Ang
Hulk.
Lee.
Yeah, but Jennifer Connelly's in it, so I'm ranking it higher.
Yeah.
At number 3, what's the one where Hulk looks after the kids? Mr. Nanny.
Yeah.
Number 2, the Christmas Hulk movie, Santa with Muscles.
Okay.
Number 1, the best Hulk movie, where he teams up with Christopher Lloyd for Suburban Commando. And a bonus one, Rocky 3.
Yeah. I was going to say when you...
Yeah, see, we should have. This is why this is improvised.
Yeah.
Because we could have written it all down.
I thought you were going to put like 1.5 or
yeah, I just couldn't work it out. So see what we've done there, listeners.
Yes.
We cleverly mixed in the Hulk Hogan movies.
Yeah.
So now that if this will go on all the platforms as usual, but YouTube tends to pick up on names of people we say,
Yeah.
and then it will come up. So probably like there'll be a superhero, and Hulk Hogan would be the first name. Especially if we keep saying Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
And we'll get listeners who like Hulk Hogan.
What happens if we say Donald Trump then?
Oh God! But we want popular things, Ed Sheeran, that people were want to listen to about.
Who's popular these days? I don't know. I don't.
Steve Guttenberg.
Taylor Swift.
Steve Guttenberg.
Yeah.
What?
Who else? Harry Styles, is he still popular?
I don't know. The other popular people. Not after recent news, Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah.
So we've nearly done an hour. We've done the rankings. Other actors who've done a lot of superhero roles.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck and who was the other one we mentioned?
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson, because Woody Harrelson's been in Venom as well as.
Was he?
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds has done, because he tried so hard. He was in one of the Blade movies.
Yeah. Trinity.
He was in Green Lantern, the Forgotten Green Lantern.
Yes.
He was in R.I.P.D., which is based on a comic.
Yeah. Was that superheroes?
That's ish. Superhero universe is a comic, but
Yeah.
so I'm counting it because Blade's the same. That was in
Okay.
there. And then he'd done Deadpool, so that's 4.
Yeah, he was Deadpool in Wolverine. It was different.
Oh yeah, or Wolverine Origins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
And he looked completely different.
Yeah, and it was the best one because he didn't talk.
Yeah.
So he's done a lot. So he's probably the one who's done the most. I can't think of who else, because Tim said we've done. Yeah, Affleck was the one that brains go to the most, didn't it?
Yeah.
We all go to the Affleck. But yeah, if you can think of any more, do it in the comments, I suppose.
Yeah.
Actors who've been in a lot of superhero movies.
In the comments of the YouTubes and the Facebooks
Yeah.
and whatever.
Follow us on the Spotify's, the YouTubes, everything really. We're here to listen.
Indeed, we are.
We are indeed. Right. So thank you very much. Topics for next time.
Yes. Keep sending them in.
Yeah, you can comment on Spotify. Definitely YouTube. There's comments. If you've got either of us on Facebook, well, I'll put up a status again. We haven't got a page. We've kind of got a group.
Yeah. I created a group not knowing there was a difference.
Yes. So that's what we do. Technology is our thing. Cheers for listening. We've done nearly an hour.
Yeah.
But when I put the credits on, but what we do as well, there's a thing where you edit it and it takes all the silences out.
Right.
So for some reason, it really shortens it. And I'm like, yeah, we've done an hour. And then it'll do it. 52 minutes. What?
Should we do a quick carry on casting?
Yeah, because we've done the Avengers on the old one, haven't
Have we?
Carry on. Yeah, so I suppose we could do.
Okay, I've got an idea.
We could do the Justice League.
Who current actors
Could do Carry On.
would play the carry on characters?
Okay, so like who'd be Bernard Bresslaw?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is difficult.
Yeah.
Kenneth Williams would be Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Bernard Bresslaw would be Brian Blessed.
Yeah. 'Cause he's
Double B.
And Barbara Windsor would be that Sydney Sweeney, who's in Everything Lately.
Sydney Sweeney. I don't know who that is.
You don't know who that is?
No.
She's been in a lot of movies and could have been the reboot of Barbarella.
Oh, okay.
There you go. I think what you'd have seen her in, because she's done a lot of. She's been in. She was in Madam Web, but she was in a big rom-com last year.
Okay.
And I think a lot of TV and now is breaking through to film. So I think she'd be the Barbara Windsor.
Okay.
Hattie
Jakes.
Hattie Jakes would be Melissa McCarthy,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Sid James is difficult. Modern day Sid James.
Luke Carpenter, the fellow.
He's probably older than what Sid James would be.
Yeah, but he's got the same laugh, hasn't he?
Yeah, or Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Bill Murray could do it. So they could. When it's Luke Carpenter's not even still alive, is he?
Yeah, I think so.
He was in ABBA the movie. God, that was bad.
He was.
He was in ABBA the movie. Jim Dale, Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Just
And
Jim.
we're just using
Jim.
people with the same name now. Right?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Joan Sims. Can't think of another Joan.
Armour Trading. Joan Armour Trading. Well, she's a singer.
She'll do. Who
Joan
else?
Collins.
Joan Collins. Is she still alive?
Yeah, just about, I think.
She's still okay. So Joan, but okay. We'll do that. Terry Scott could be Terry
Nutkins.
dead. So yeah, this isn't going so well, is it? We're doing the carry-ons as.
It's an interesting challenge to do it from the reverse, though, isn't it?
Not many of it's I'm trying. I've actually gone blank on carry-on act. Charles Hawtrey.
Graham Norton.
Graham Norton is Charles. Yes, okay, we'll allow that.
I think he has acted in some stuff, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was in Father Ted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Right, that's got us to an hour. We've done well.
Hey!
Tricked you all. Thank you all very much. Follow us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube,
Facebook,
stuff.
everything.
Yeah, and we'll be back in about a month-ish.
Yeah.
Thank you, and don't forget, if you haven't watched any superhero movies, now you know everything about it,
Yeah.
because we're experts on superhero movies.
Laters.
Always laughing through the airwaves.
Martin and Lou.
We just laugh without a care.
Martin and Lou.
We don't do politics, we don't do current affairs. We're too idiots talking rubbish. Baby, here it is.
Welcome to the Martin and Lewis show.
Yeah, it's the show.
Come on, folks, enjoy the flow.
Enjoy the flow.
Like a jockey, we won't let you go.
Won't let you go.
Lewis, here we go.
Some folks think good times roll.
Martin and Lewis.
Turn the dial and lose control.
Let's take it slow.
On the airwaves, we bring the chin. No time for tears, so we're here to make you laugh. Here it is.
This is the Martin and